All right, so we did it that time.
Yeah, we did it that time. We should be hooked up and ready to go. Well, Craig, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Got several announcements. We have several things to say to our lovely audience. Let's take a second. Audience, welcome. But we're not going to be calling you audience from now on. Craig and I have a new development. Craig, do you want me to say it or do you want you to say it?
Ooh, I'll say it, but it wasn't my idea, which makes it even more fun for me.
Hell yeah, pop it out.
We spoke a little bit on the last episode about what we should call you goofs. But that's not what we're going to call. We're not going to call you goofs.
No, we're not going to call you goofs.
We had several options in there. One of them, and very obvious, being boys. But we landed on goons. So you're now our goons. And if you don't
goons.
Like it,
fuck off.
Yeah, you have to. Legally have to fuck off. But still listen to the podcast, even if we're mad at you, because we won't stay mad at you. You have to be nice to us. You're legally bound to it at this very moment in time.
Because we'll always remember you as our goons.
Yeah, and I also don't know any. I don't know any of your names, so that also doesn't help.
So you're all goons, and so sometimes we'll refer to you as the Goonies. Sometimes we'll be like my goons, and we have some. We have a few merch ideas popped up in our old brains. One of those being, I might cut this out, I might not. But the whole point of me saying is the goons is you're also. My first thought was to call you guys the Goon Squad, motherfucking kind of like Toon Squad, because both Craig and I's favorite movie is Space Jam. So instead of Toon Squad, you're all the Goon Squad. And so imagine what possibilities of merch could pop up from that. Who knows?
We also thought about the opening song of this podcast before we ever started to sit down and record it. We wanted it to be just the Space Jam theme song.
Everybody get up.
Yeah. But we figured eventually we figured that might bite us in the ass, so we decided not to do that.
Exactly. We were also going to start this episode off with the Taiwanese national anthem. Because of our new... Oh, by the way, everyone say hello. All the goons... Wow, my voice cracked. All the goons say hello to our new Taiwanese listener. How you doing?
So we'll just do this every time we hit a new demographic. If we ever I think so far we've hit anywhere from 18 to 35. So when we hit the 50 plus range in the demographic, we'll just have to we'll just have to play Led Zeppelin or something. And that'll be their anthem, and then if we reach a different country, we'll just play their national anthem.
Of course. I think that makes sense. So what you guys want to do is spread our name around the entire world. Somehow it's getting places.
Yeah. And here's the crazy thing, is there's a ton of different you can do this a billion different ways. You could print out a picture of our cover art and send it snail mail to your grandma, and she could listen to the podcast. Or easier, you could share us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And you could also follow us on Twitter, @stories_boys. And then our individual Twitters are in the description of our podcast Twitter. So do that, or else.
Or else we will send our newfound Taiwanese friend on you. You don't want him or her to get involved.
Yeah.
We're best buds. So... We also, but for the same reasons, we couldn't probably play the Taiwanese national theme song. So,
my first drum set was made in Taiwan. So
thank you. That's probably the same person listening to us right now. Probably had a hand in your drum set.
Yeah, maybe.
So thank you, thank you from the bottom of Craig's heart. So
it burned in a fire.
Oh god, Craig, do you want to tell that story, or is that for a later date?
Yeah, we won't. I don't think we need to dawn on that one too much.
We'll dawn on it someday. Let's just say all of Craig's belongings once went away. I'm so sorry. Later, we'll tell you later. Because I had an idea, by the way, for maybe not a month, but maybe specific episodes where it's just going to be a free for all. We can bring as many stories of any type of caliber we want. and that could include us ourselves. So that might happen.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? I've also had an idea where I think at some point, if we have enough of you guys, the goons, to chime in, if you guys start tweeting at us DMs of stories or emailing us or whatever it might be, eventually we can start doing like listener episodes where we can kind of like tell some stories that you guys want us to tell, through our beautiful mouths. So that might happen at some point.
We even have like the option of like we could you can record voice messages for us. So if there's any interest in that at all, literally just DM the podcast Twitter. And just a fun fact, we're nobodies, so we run the podcast Twitter. So one of us will answer. And, if we get enough interest, maybe we play it on the podcast, maybe we just listen to it back and
right,
transcribe it or something. Yeah.
We'll play with a bunch of ideas, but we this is like fun for us, and I love doing it, and Craig, he puts up with it. And so like, because of this, we want to share that joy, and if you guys have stories that you want to get told, and I bet you guys have amazing stories, because like all around the world, I bet you, Mr. Taiwanese man or woman, I bet you got a fucking story for me, and I want to hear it. And if I want to hear it, I know the rest of you goons want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we got it's honestly like it's kind of cool. It's really cool because we don't have we probably have like we're literally from the middle of America, and probably only half of our listeners are from America. That's kind of cool. So we appreciate that.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, honestly.
So you probably have a lot more interesting things than we have to say. So that's great.
Exactly. And also shout out, all the shit we give to Ohio. Most of our listeners are from Ohio, so shout out Ohio. Just kidding. Fuck you, Ohio. We will never support your state.
Yeah, and I guarantee we were talking about it. We were gaming because we're gamers, and we were talking about it, and I was like, man, we mention Ohio like a lot too. So I wonder if it's just like, hey, these guys talk about Ohio, dude. Let's show them some support. I know that's not it, but it's still funny to me.
That is, it's just like a very high coincidence, which is interesting. So thank you for listening, but I will burn your state to the ground.
Come on, man.
I'm just kidding.
They're dealing with a national championship loss this week. We gotta cut them some slack. It's tough.
All right. We're sorry out there. Listen to us, and we'll take you to the promised land.
Yeah, so. And we also we share the bond of Cedar Fair Amusement Parks because that's the company that owns Worlds of Fun. So we're connected forever in that way.
We're sister states because of Worlds of Fun. What's their little Worlds of Fun is a theme park for everyone that doesn't know what this means, but it's a theme park.
Yeah, theirs is, they've got a few, I think, but it's Cedar. I think it's Cedar Point or Cedar Park, Cedar Fair. I don't remember. Cedar Point or Cedar Park. My wife would be able to tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, all you Ohio listeners, which I know we have several, holler at us about your theme parks. Craig's wife is quite the expert with theme parks, so she'd love to hear something from one of you personally.
Honestly, she probably
or she would hate it. She'd be like, never speak to me because you're from Ohio. Move, seriously, move. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, we've had our obligatory plugs, we've talked about the hatred for Ohio, why don't we move on to our theme?
Air horns.
I looked all over for an air horn sound effect for the last episode. I couldn't find it. But, you guys are stuck with... Yeah, you guys are stuck with our artificial air horn. But the theme this month still resides as urban legends. And as per last episode, we discussed that we were going to have a little game that we were going to play.
Dead air. Dead air.
Well, I mean, it was your turn to speak anyway.
No, this is a we're gonna. What if we did the podcast in patterns, where like one day we did an A and then the next one was AAB, and so for every two things you said, I would say one thing, and it was actually just a Morse code for help, and then our listeners had to figure out how to save us from whatever is trying to kill us.
That could be fun. A fun little game that we just explained so they'll know.
Well, yeah, but it's gonna take them a while to figure it out. I would assume.
That's true.
Yeah.
What if I told everyone?
'Cause, I mean, I don't know. They might not all speak English. Because one of them, I mean, it'd be hard to listen to this podcast, I guess. If you didn't
Taiwanese
speak
man?
English. Or not just the Taiwanese people, but...
I'm so sorry. He or she's gone. They're done. They're never.
Yeah, they were like, I'm
listening to
checking
us.
out.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't need them.
Please come back.
Yeah, seriously, we desperately need your attention. That's
Yeah,
all we crave.
If you don't give us the attention we crave, I'm gonna lick a toilet seat.
Don't let Craig do this again.
Yeah, because I need the attention. Do you see that girl?
No, actually, I don't know. What you're
Dude,
talking
it was like in the middle of the pandemic, but she had a song that went viral. I don't know her name, and I really don't care to know her name, but she had a song.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
No, definitely not Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh.
But she had this song go viral, and then people kind of stopped paying attention to it, and so she like posted a TikTok of herself licking a toilet, like in the middle
That'll
of
get them.
a pandemic. And it's
Hey,
like,
man.
and everyone was like, "You're a piece of garbage," and she got to go on Dr. Phil, and it was great.
Well, then she got what she wanted.
Yeah, I think she only has like 40,000 subscribers, so it's like, what did you really do that for?
That's a lot more than we have.
Yeah, but I wouldn't lick
You wouldn't
a
subject
toilet
yourself?
seat. Yeah.
The game that we have decided to play is that. Have you guys ever heard? Have you goons? Goon Squad ever heard of a little game called like Two Truths and a Lie?
Yes.
We're gonna play like a little kind of version of that, but it's with urban legends, and it's two lies and a truth, because it turns out a lot of urban legends can't be proven, or they just are completely fictional. So there are a few, and I found several, and Craig and I have not conversed prior to this episode. Therefore, there will most likely be the case of we had the same stories. But no matter what, you guys are going to get some urban legends, and the way this game is going to work is I'm going to, like, whoever starts, let's just say me, for example, I'm going to take three stories, and two of them are going to be fake. One of them's going to be real. Craig's job is to tell me which one is real and which one is fake. Who do you want to start?
I'll start. I'll start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the sounds of that. I like to go second.
Yeah, get that main event action in.
Yes.
And mine's like is more of like a speaking of roller coasters. That's mostly why I want to go first, because my first one is they're all three about Universal Studios Jaws ride.
That's such a specific. All three urban legends are on that
All
one ride.
three of them are about the Jaws ride.
Are you sure they're not just intercollected like series of events?
I am 100% sure.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm nervous. I don't know if I'll get any of these right.
Well, they're honestly all pretty like legitimate. It's crazy. So, the first one being like, it's kind of like surrounding why the Jaws ride got taken down, or why it took so long to take it down. So it kind of all helps explain why it's not there anymore. So
excellent. All right, well, lay the first one on me.
yeah, number one, it got taken down because guests were being burned by pyrotechnics on the ride, and they were sued for a ton of money. And they said, we got to get rid of this fucking ride before we get sued a bunch more. Number two, there was a similar. It's not quite pyrotechnics, but it's more like a water feature where a huge fountain would just go crazy, and it blows crazy in the air, and that would blow up ducks that would be floating just on the pond, because ducks like ponds.
Oh yeah, they like water. They like to cruise on them.
Yeah, they're zooming on that shit. So number two is exploding ducks. Number three, in the pond, there were an endangered species of worms, and because the endangered species of worms were there, the Environmental Protection Agency governed the entire Jaws ride. So they basically had complete say-so of what was done with that Universal Studios ride.
Okay. So, first of all, also I want to mention really fast that you guys at home, all you goons, you can play along. All right, pick your guesses. Now, is it my job right now? The premise right now is that the ride is shut down, and I'm trying to figure out which one of these is the real reason.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's like the biggest part of it? I'm sure there was a ton of different reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, then quick recap me 1 through 3 again, just like a quick little tiny synopsis.
Number 1, guests getting burns up to 3rd-degree burns because of pyrotechnics on the ride. Number 2 was ducks exploding because of a water feature. And number 3, the Environmental Protection Agency was protecting a endangered species of worms that lived in the pond.
You know what I'm going to have to go with, just for the excitement and for the sheer, like, I want this to kind of be more fun, story-driven. I'm going to choose the 3rd-degree burn, so option 1, because I can imagine there's some crazy fucking pyrotechnics going on. Well, it is a water ride, though. I don't know. I'm going to go with number 1. Not because I want to see people get 3rd-degree burns, but because I hope that this is a little bit more juicy than fucking worms in the ground. But you can tell me.
It's juicy, but it's not the 3rd-degree burns.
Fuck.
So there were complaints of, like, by riders of getting 3rd-degree burns on Jaws. They did try to sue Jaws, or Universal Studios. They tried to do this, but what it came down to was, like, so there was, like, a point where, I mean, you've seen Jaws. There's explosions. It's an action thing. So they would, basically what happens is these people who are not from Orlando, Florida, would go to Orlando, Florida, get sunburnt as fuck, and then, get a little bit of fire near them, and then they were like, holy shit, that was the hottest thing that's ever happened to me. And then they would try to sue based on that, but they were like, you're just sunburnt. I'm sorry. We cannot help you for that.
Right.
It's not the worms.
Okay.
There was
ducks.
There was a rumor about the worms for a very, very long time.
Okay.
But, like, in the end, it's a man-made pond. Like, the claims were that, like,
the ducks can fuck off.
Well, it was a claim that, like, the worms were there, and then they built the ride. But, like, it's a man-made pond. They built the pond for for the ride, and then they also drained it, like, a bunch all the time. So even if there were worms there, they'd have been fucking toasted. But it's the exploding ducks. And the biggest thing, like, that happened, there was, like, a little girl, and she was, like, she's just on the Jaws ride, and there's a part where the, like, captain of the boat has to shoot a shotgun, like, at Jaws. Okay. Or at something, and he misses, and he hits, like, an oil tanker or something, and it blows up. So, so it's a cool feature, whatever. It happened, and then there's the little girl was, like, worried the whole time. She's like, he's gonna shoot the ducks. I know he's gonna shoot the ducks, and I'm gonna be really upset when he shoots the ducks. And they were like, no, we're not gonna shoot the ducks. I promise I'm not gonna shoot a duck. So he freaking he shoots the thing, and it's not real, obviously, but a duck was on the, like, fixture, and that motherfucker blew up and landed in this little girl's lap. And they had they freaking, like, they had to pay this family so much money, dude. Like,
dude, those lucky pieces of shit. Imagine taking your kid to a theme park and some shit like that happens, and now you become millionaires because you can sue a company. Damn it.
Yeah, dude. Like,
there was no harm except for the rest in peace duck.
Yeah. So that was not, like, spooky or anything, but I was like, that's kind of funny. I love the fact that that a little girl can get a fucking blasted out duck put on her, and that family comes out on top.
That's awesome. So that ride is no longer in commission, right?
It sure is not. Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Big sad.
Well, shoot, that was good start. Yeah, because that ride sounds awesome. Like, I would love to ride that. Probably super cool.
You'll never know.
I'll never know, because of fucking whatever. Okay, well then it's my turn. Mine do not have themes. Oh, I also forgot to mention, everyone. I'm sorry, and Craig, I didn't even tell you this. But I have what happens to the winner of this game in mind.
Oh.
So what I'm thinking, so right now I have 0 points, so keep that in mind after I'm telling you this. What I'm thinking is that whoever wins this, they get to basically tell the other co-host what story they want them to cover for the next one. Or anytime. Like it's a one free story later on.
Okay, I like that. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I honestly hope I lose.
So you have one less chore to like.
Yeah, I just don't have to research anything.
No, you have to research the whole thing. I just like I could be like, I want you to tell me about this endangered worm species, and then you have to go tell me a full story about these endangered worm species. So you have to do the research. You just don't have to think about what you're gonna do. You know what I mean?
And it has to be the whole hour-long podcast.
I mean, we could talk about that later.
No, I'm good on that shit.
Because like because I'll tell you what, if you lose it. We do a true crime season, bro. You're gonna tell me the OJ story.
He didn't do it, man.
Save it for the story, motherfucker.
No, he did it.
Okay.
He did it.
Oh, we got him. Get him, OJ. Get him.
No.
Okay, so mine do not have a theme like yours do. Mine are just, different urban legends and the tellings of those. So, for starters, I'm going to do a kind of similar thing you did, though, where it's just like kind of really small explanation, and then I'll go into them once you kind of decide this. Number 1, Little Mikey. Do you know the story of Little Mikey?
I don't know Little Mikey.
Okay.
Is it Lil Mikey or Little Mikey?
Little Mikey. Little Mikey used to be in a commercial of Life cereal. He was like 10 or 8 years old. And this was around the era of Pop Rocks, when they were first invented. Not the newer ones, but like the old version of Pop Rocks. Little Mikey, offset on his own time, devoured a whole set of Pop Rocks. And then he drank a nice frosty Coke. And then the Pop Rocks exploded in his stomach, killing him.
Damn.
That's the story of Little Mikey.
That sounds like the like what your parents tell you.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's like yeah. Don't eat all that
too much sugar. You're gonna blast the fuck off.
Well, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Pop Rocks back in the day, like I'll obviously get into everything. This isn't a persuasion. I'm just saying, Pop Rocks back in the day were different than what you know now. I guess they were much more, how you say, poppy. So
a lot less rocky, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, dude. I had it. Number 2. I will say this is one of my favorite urban legends of all time. So you might have heard this one. Even during your research, you probably even heard this. You're probably on your list, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to take first claim of it. There was once a woman. I'm going to keep names out of this. There was once a woman that was at college, at a state university, whatever. So this girl was studying late, and she went back to her dorm to get some books or notes. She didn't want to disturb her roommate, so she didn't turn on the lights when she got her stuff off her desk. Later, when she got back from the party, she had a grand old time. Wait, no. When she got back from, there's no party. When she got back from studying, she found her roommate dead. And there was a note on the mirror stand that said, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light?"
Damn, dude. That's heavy.
That's a heavy one. That's one of my favorite ones, dude.
Can you imagine coming home to that? Not just the, like, even if like let's say someone found you at the library and were like, "Hey, Mandy's dead," and then this note was left for you. I would shit my pants. Obviously for that murder reason, and then because that is scary as shit also.
The girl in the story was named Sydney, so I'm impressed you chose Mandy, so that was cool. But yes, I would be fucking scary. Because think about that. First of all, because you come home, right? It's pitch black, and you usually pop on a light, just a quick one. Can you fucking imagine if you turn on a light and there's a person killing your roommate? And you're like, I'd vomit and pass out. In that order. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, whatever happens, happens, I guess. Even worse. Okay, so when I get home sometimes, the way my layout of my house is, I can't get to a light switch right away. So I'll pop on my flashlight. And you know how eerie it is to see shit through a flashlight when it's pitch black? Imagine turning on your flashlight and scanning the room, and you fucking witness a body over your roommate's body, doing the job.
And they took all of his hair, and it's like
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it would be so fucking scary. Yeah. So that's a frightening one. So that's number 2.
That's spooky.
That's a spooky one. Now number 3 is that number 3 is the story of pins and needles and razor blades in trick-or-treaters candy. So in 1967, there was a focus of the urban legend that shifted from poison, because you remember the whole thing I told you about the poison in the whatever candy? So that was true, obviously. But then that shift focused on razors and pins and needle sharp objects hidden within apples. And then also later on, the story turned into razor blades. The motif turned to razor blades. And it spreaded all the way to eastern seaboard into Canada. New York Times reported 13 cases from isolated communities in New Jersey and noted, quote-unquote, several others in Ottawa and Toronto, Canada. There was an outrage of these stories, and that was so strong in New Jersey that a state legislator passed a law shortly before Halloween in 1968 mandating prison terms for those caught booby-trapping apples. And that's basically it. Basically, all that happened was that kids would get apples for candy, bite into them, and they would get like pins, needles, sharp things in the candy, in the apples, and they would cut their mouths.
Ouch.
That's the story. I'm sure you've heard that. That's been, the razor blade and the apple. We've even touched base on that before. That's an urban legend of the times. Okay.
That's big ouchie.
Big ouchie. So quick recap. Number 1 is the story of little Mikey who ate Pop Rocks and then drank soda, and it killed him. Number 2 is the Aren't You Glad You Didn't Turn on the Light with the murderous roommate path. And number 3 was pins and needles and razor blades and apples.
Oh, man. Okay. Number 1 to me just feels like that you're just like, this is just a don't eat too much sugar, or you're end up like little Mikey. It's
a PSA thing for parents to be like, don't do this.
Yeah. Now the live cereal thing's very specific, and it makes me nervous.
Right. I can show you a commercial right now. I won't say anything.
That's fine. Okay. So and then there was, what was the second one again? There was the girl. The don't turn on the light.
Don't turn on the lights. Number 2,
okay.
Yes.
And then number 3 is pin. I'm gonna go number 3.
You're gonna hit number 3 with it, pins and needles and razor blades and the apples.
Yeah.
All right. Let me start off with, I'll just go down the order. So number 1, did Pop Rocks kill little Mikey? They did not. That never happened. So basically, John Gilchrist is the actor's name, and he is portrayed as little Mikey in live commercials. So there's where that specific starts come from. And yeah, there's live commercials with little Mikey in it. Basically, he has gone on to say, this is just a quote. It says, yes, John Gilchrist enjoys live cereal and keeps it in his home. No, he does not get a free lifetime supply. No, he was not particularly picky eater as a child. Yes, he really is the guy who played one on TV. Oh, and one more thing, he is most certainly not dead. Quote, the folklore is that I ate Pop Rocks, the exploding candies, and I drank a soda and my stomach blew up. End quote, he said, recalling a long ago urban legend. One day in the late 1970s, his mother summoned him from a playground baseball game to tell him that she had received a call from a concerned friend who said, through tears, I'm so sorry to hear about your son. Mrs. Gilchrist said he just came home from school and was very confused. So basically, General Foods, the maker of the candy, was battling the exploding kid rumors in 1979, 4 years after the product's introduction. They took out full-page ads in 45 major publications, wrote some 50,000 letters to school principals around the country, and sent the confections inventor on the road to explain to all and sundry that Pop Rocks generate less gas than half a can of soda, and ingesting them could induce nothing worse in the human body than a hearty, non-life-threatening belch. Despite all these measures, the rumors are abound to this day.
Just picture, like, the PSA for that, where little Mikey gets done with his cereal, and he's like, I'll sneak in some Pop Rocks and a nice can of cola, and just belches and dies, and then, like, that's why you should fucking only drink water, pussies.
Yeah, this was brought to you by Dasani.
Yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of, like, I could just picture it. Mrs. What the fuck was her name? Mrs. Gilchrist goes upstairs and sees the muddled remains of fucking little Mikey's body sprawled across the fucking room, like pieces of his body all over the walls and shit. And like it cuts to, and little Mikey was like, "Oh right, that was a commercial for the books." And he like opens a bag of Pop Rocks, puts it in his mouth. Then he's like, what's going to wash this down? Ooh, they're so tickly on my mouth. You know what else is tickly? Coca-Cola. And then his body goes... and he just explodes. He literally just detonates.
Yeah.
And then cuts back to Mrs. Gulker. She's like, Jesus Christ!
It's just like the Capri Sun commercials where they like put it full of air and then they pop it because it makes that loud boom.
Oh, yeah.
And then the
yeah,
kid,
literally that.
There's just shoes left.
Yeah, and their clothes float down or whatever. Yeah, exactly like that. So yeah, that is not a true story. And then I will go ahead and just say right now that you are correct. Pins and needles is the correct answer. And I'm going to go ahead and explain the legend of Are You Glad You Didn't Turn on the Light? So here's the thing. Technically, this one can be true, though, because... So I looked this up on Snopes, and it's announced as a legend, and that rating means that the story is so vague and the story is so, like, universally, spoken about that it technically could have happened, but there's not like a, this is exactly what had happened kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, there really isn't even much to talk about. It just is a made-up story. I'm trying to think. It's a tale in the book Urban Legend in 1998. Like, it's just like one of those small stories. I'm trying to see, because the source of this story is also another source for another one of my urban legends later on, and so I'm trying not to, like, spoil anything for the future.
Dude, spoil it right now. You coward.
Okay. I'm doing it. But yeah, so let me just read this really quick, also from Snopes. It says, details vary wildly from version to version. Sometimes the survivor comes looking for a sweater instead of her books, or sometimes she's been at a party instead of a library, or she stops by briefly to check on her sick roommate, leaving immediately because she assumes the girl's asleep. In some versions, she returns home to find the police in the process of investigating the murder, and sometimes she's the one who discovers the body, having awakened the next morning to find both the slashed throat corpse and the note. Yeah, but basically, it's just saying that, like, the story's changed from time to time, and, like, it's just not a real thing. So, going back to pins and needles, this is a thing that happened, which is a very safe bet, because that it's very likely that it happened, because people are sick fucks. The aforementioned New York Times that reported on the case, they noted that, quote, children were cut, end quote. But the more detailed accounts include suspicious details. In one case, a boy came home to his parents with an apple containing a razor blade. He had bitten into an apple, he said, but not quite deeply enough to contact the blade. In another, the child said he found the blade while cutting out a rotten spot. In a third case, the razor was found when a child turned an apple over to his father for peeling. In all these detailed cases, the child was not injured, and because he was the immediate source of the apple, it seems possible that he was also the source of the blade. More than 75% of the reported cases involved no injury, and detailed follow-ups in 1972 and 1982 concluded that virtually all the reports were hoaxes concocted by the children or the parents. Thus, this legend seems to have grown out of a tradition of a sensitive hoaxing, relying on an understood oral tradition rather than any core of authenticated incidents. Yeah, dude, oral.
You said oral, bro?
Oral, dude. You know what I mean? So basically, they're just saying, like, tons of people did find razor blades and shit in their apple, but technically they were just fake clout moves, some money moves, because no kids were really hurt.
Damn, dude.
A bunch of hoaxes. So, those are my first three, Craig. Chalk one up, buddy.
Dude, that's a point, bro. I'm crushing
point,
it.
bro.
I don't care what happens for the rest of the day.
You're just like, actually, can we call it good?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I gotta something in that.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
But I still count that win.
Yeah, that's a W for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
So,
all right, I got a lot of catching up to do. What's up? What do you got next for me?
Okay, I've got three more, and they're all fucking bangers. I'm gonna start with this one. If you know it, this is gonna be really, really funny. If you don't know it, it's gonna be really, really funny afterwards.
Okay.
Either way, I'm gonna have fun.
I'm excited for it.
The first one is known as the Yowie Yahoo.
Yowie Yahoo!
Do you know the Yowie Yahoo?
I don't think.
Okay. So the Yowie Yahoo is a vampire out of, or it's said to be a vampire, I guess, out of, it's like the Australian outback. So basically what happened, this guy went missing a long time ago, and he is said to come back as a vampire called the Yowie Yahoo. Some people have said he has come through like a literal tornado, but most accounts come from the fog. Like, so if it's foggy in the road and you're traveling in the outback, there's going to be a fucking vampire somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Some people have also claimed he's responsible for forest fires out that way, claiming he has powers, like he can basically throw fireballs. Like he's, I don't know, vampires could do that, but
right.
But that's some of his powers, and he's said to be behind a lot of mysterious disappearances in the country.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Sounds like a real fucking deal to me.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
That is pretty wild.
Number 2, the bus to nowhere. Wah, wah, wah. This is in Philadelphia, PA, which, as we decided a few weeks ago, is garbage. It's always cold. Philly's bad.
Philly's bad. Fuck you, Philly and Ohio. Fuck each other.
But basically, the bus to nowhere is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bus that doesn't have an end destination. The bus will only pick up passengers that are at their lowest moments and who need to get away from their problems. And you basically will sit on that bus forever until you're ready to go face that shit. So basically, you could be on the bus. Some people have said, you know, I mean, it was just maybe a couple hours. Mm-hmm. It was days. It was years. Like, these are all the claims. Like, legitimate people think they've, like, been on a bus for a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that shit's crazy. And
that's
then
pretty scary.
Number 3 is The Hermit of Maine. And so with this one, this is a decades-long issue. People who would vacation in central Maine's North Pond area would basically deal with items going missing at their campsites. Batteries, food, flashlights, tents, coolers, everything. Like, you name it. If there was something left at the campsite, it was gone.
Gone.
Always claiming that I always felt watched when I was out there, right? So you always feel like someone's just around the corner watching you behind a tree, or just kind of behind you or around. You always feel like you're being watched. And and then, of course, when your shit goes missing, I mean, it could be a bear, right? It could be a bear, but bears don't give you that creepy watch feeling, right?
Not
right,
I mean,
right?
I don't think so. I don't know. I look over as a bear just staring at me. I'm like, I didn't feel that.
He's got a fucking gun, dude. But yeah, those are the 3.
Shit. Okay, quick synopsis of 1 through 3. I need to think about it.
Okay. So the first one was the Yowie Yahoo vampire in the Australian outback. Number 2 was the bus to nowhere. So, you're on a bus basically until you're ready to go face life's problems, which is really deep. Okay. And then the main hermit, an alleged being who would follow people in the woods and steal their shit.
I mean, obviously, you gotta go number 3 in terms of the most plausible, right? Or are you just trying to trick me, do a little trickery, and you're gonna make me say number 3, and it's gonna be a motherfucking vampire hearkening hell? Or it's gonna be some fucking bus, Craig. Oh, this is gonna piss me off. Because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have to go ahead and pick the vampire, number 1 again, and it's gonna be a fucking stupid Maine thing. Alright, vampire.
You're going vampire?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm gonna stick with Maine. I gotta go Maine with it. Okay. Just kidding, vampire. No, vampire.
You really wanna go vampire?
I'm going vampire.
Dude, guess what, bro? You're fucking right, bro.
Oh shit!
No, I'm just kidding. You're so wrong.
What?
And this is gonna be great for us. So I'll start from the top. I'll start with what you guessed. The Yowie Yahoo.
I'm just saying bus. It's the fucking bus.
The Yowie Yahoo is I'm gonna read literally just the page I found this on. The Yowie Yahoo is a legendary vampire in Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire.
I knew it sounded familiar, you bastard. I fucking knew it.
The synopsis of it was, it was It was like a rock star who had fallen off basically, and to become relevant, he would be a vampire.
Oh my goodness! I just remember that's from the movie thing, right? The small movie with. Oh my fucking god! I watched it maybe 99 times.
The second coming of the Hex Girls, bro. What's up?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I am a fool. The Yowie Yahoo. God damn it! It just didn't click.
I thought about changing the name because I was like, he's gonna know the Yowie Yahoo.
I do know the Yowie Yahoo. I do. It's just been so long. I remember stuff from that movie so vividly too, like the two skinny dudes, the other band, and then like the
two skinny dudes. Yeah,
they were literally like, "Hello, we're the two skinny dudes."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh yeah, dude."
The second one also false, bust to nowhere.
Fuck me.
Basically, what I'm assuming happens is people get really fucking sad, get on a bus, and fucking miss their stop 80 times. Is all I could really.
That's literally all it is.
All it could possibly be. But the main hermit is a real guy. So all that stuff, and it's literally decades long. So people felt like they were being watched and that someone was stealing their shit. They were absolutely right. For 27 years of his life, Christopher Knight lived alone in the woods, keeping tabs on hikers, canoeists, and other temporary residents of the grounds until he was confronted by the game warden in 2013. He noted that he was responsible for an average of 40 robberies a year.
Oh, wow.
So, my guy went almost 3 decades of just stealing shit from people.
Dude, man's gotta eat. Man's gotta play with.
So he was doing some creepy shit, but he was just doing it so he could fucking like eat, bro.
I get it. See, and I knew it. I fucking knew it. I just thought I was really hoping that you were gonna pull a fast one on me, and it was gonna be the goddamn Legend of the Yowie Yahoo, the fucking vampire.
Two skinny dudes.
Two skinny dudes. And I figured the middle bus thing was like, it could technically be... this is my second thought, was that you were going to pull like the second one's technically true because they could just sit on the bus and for as long as they want if they keep playing. And then I was going to be like, okay, well, fuck off. I don't even want your point. So I'm glad at least it was the hermit from Maine.
Yeah.
But I knew it was... Goons, I knew it was Maine. Okay, I'm not stupid. I just was really hoping for a fun, juicy vampire tale.
It'd be really cool if it was real, though, right? I mean,
if it was, right.
Mostly because it's in Australia, and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they can deal with that shit. Plus 16-foot spiders and kangaroos.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, dude, can you imagine just rolling up and seeing just the biggest fucking spider you've ever seen in your life, bro? Fuck the rest of the world.
I would just tell it to stop before I got mad.
Yeah, so you better leave me alone, or I'm gonna do
Or I get angry, and the spider's like...
You just pull out a DVD of 8-Legged Freaks, and you say, "You see what David Arquette just did to this spider? Yeah. That's you, bud. That's you."
And then you just Tron throw that fucking CD across the spider's dumb face. Vroom. That's killing it.
That's a good fucking deep dive into with the Tron.
Yeah, we're tying stories together. We're Craig and I are storytellers. It's our profession. So. Yeah. All right, well, you got me. You pulled a fast one. And is that your last bit?
That's my last set.
All right, then I guess I'll do my last set, and then if I lost, but let's see if you can really put me down,
Dude, can I crush this? Go 2-0. Find out next week, and we just we end it right here.
That'd be fucking cool. Should we do that?
We release a 10-minute episode of me guessing it the next week, and then that's all they get.
And you get it, and then. This is how you garner more views. Oh, shit, we should do that. Hey, audience, guess what? Nah, because they're going to see the time, like, how much time they have left in the podcast. It's going to be, like 20 more minutes left. And then they're going to be like, I know they're not going to fucking do it. So the point of this cliffhanger is, fuck you.
Don't look at your phone the whole time.
Don't look at your phone. That's a new rule we just made. Okay, you ready for mine?
I'm so ready.
All right, dude. Here's what I'm going to do. Number 1, I'm going to cover the story of... Not really a story. These are just claims. But the claim is simply, bugs can crawl into a person's ear, make their home in there, and slowly eat away at their like their brain and their like ear canal and stuff. Okay, that's simple as that.
Gross.
I'll go ahead and give you.
Yeah.
All right, here's an incident, and this is gonna hit home with our fucking goons out there. You ready for this? An incident happened in a hospital in Taiwan. This man was warded in the hospital and was constantly warned by the nurses not to leave food stuff by his bedside because there were ants about. He did not heed their advice. Ants finally got to him. His family members said that the man constantly complained about headaches. He died and a postmortem or autopsy was done on him. Doctors found a group of live ants living in his head. Apparently the ants had been eating parts of his brains and parts of his like ears and shit. Yeah, that's it. So
that's fucking.
That is.
I hope you all enjoyed that, and maybe if I had the skills, man, I would make a little digital short of you describing that, and then just the ants in there smunching away. But I don't have the talent. If any of you have the talent,
we'll hire you.
Do that for free. And
for free.
Send it to storieswiththeboyspod@gmail.com.
I would love that. Any of you talented creators of content out there, please hit us up.
I'll send you $50 if you do it.
Fuck, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good chunk right there.
Yeah, dude.
That's dope.
I'm basically a millionaire.
That's what's up, dude. All right, so that's number one. Number two is the Alice killings. Have you heard of the Alice killings?
Alice, like ALICE?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about the Alice killings. I was about to say, yeah, dude, I know everything about the Alice killings. And just really, really fucking get in your head about it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is the story. And then you're like, I knew that. I knew that part too. I'm like,
I knew everything.
And I know this story is, Okay, I'm gonna read this off of, I don't know, it's called RD. But, so this, I'm gonna have to maybe chop it up a little bit because there might be some, some pieces of either truth or fiction. It might spoil it.
Okay.
The story, the story of the Alice killings is one of Japan's most famous urban legends, as well as one of its newest. The legend revolves around a series of killings that supposedly occurred between 1999 and 2005, so a short 6-year frame. The victims had no relationship to one another, and the killings seem unrelated in every way, but they shared a haunting similarity. A single playing card was found by each body with the word Alice written in the victim's blood. For an unsubstantiated urban legend, the specifics of these murders are very consistent, right down to the names and the grisly details. The uniformity of this legend, as well as its popularity, is most likely thanks to the internet. And then that's all I'm going to tell you.
The internet.
The internet. So that's the Alice killings.
Okay.
And then number 3, I'm going to tell you a little story about a spooky specter.
Dude, I love nothing more than spooky specters, my guy.
Dude, me fucking too. I'm gonna get the word spooky and specter tattooed on my fucking head. I love it.
I'm gonna do you one better, bro. I'm gonna do spooky in like a circle around my nip on my right side.
Of course.
And then specter around my left nip.
That's fucking spooky and specter. That's pretty... Yeah. You're dunking on me right now.
Yeah, also, just a side note, because of the word specter, Phil Spector died today.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, oh, no?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Well, so, basically, he was like a music producer, but he also died in prison because he was a convicted murderer. I don't know. Actually, no. I don't know if he was in prison or not. I like to hope so, but he might have gotten out. I don't know. But like everything I saw on social media was like music producer first and convicted murderer Phil Spector dies at 81. I was like, why would you even?
Oh yeah.
Why would you throw that in there the first time? Why would you just not lead with convicted killer? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to like you did to me. Like I didn't want to just think, oh no, a person that we all know is dead. You know what I mean? That's all I thought.
Yeah.
But
not to be confused with Regina Spector.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Phil and Regina are very different.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 is, like I said, Spooky Spectre. It is simply an expressionless apparition in a blood-covered gown appeared at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in 1972. And I'm gonna have to tell you the full story for this one, and then you'll have to make your guess. Okay?
Okay, I'm good with that.
In June of 1972, a woman appeared in Cedars-Sinai Hospital in nothing but a white, blood-covered gown. Now this, in itself, should not be too surprising, as people often have accidents nearby and come to the closest hospital for medical attention. But there were two things that caused people who saw her to vomit and flee in terror. The first being that she wasn't exactly human. She resembled something close to a mannequin, but had the dexterity and fluidity of a normal human being. Her face was as flawless as a mannequin, devoid of eyebrows and smeared in makeup. There was a kitten clamped in her jaws, so unnaturally tight that no teeth could be seen, and the blood was still squirting out over her gown and onto the floor. She then pulled it out of her mouth, tossed it aside, and collapsed. From the moment she stepped through the entrance to when she was taken to a hospital room and cleaned up before being prepped for sedation, she was completely calm, expressionless, and motionless. The doctors thought it best to restrain her until the authorities could arrive, and she did not protest. They were unable to get any kind of response from her, and most staff members felt too uncomfortable to look directly at her for more than a few seconds. But the second that the staff tried to sedate her, she fought back with extreme force. Two members of staff had to hold her down as her body rose up on the bed with that same blank expression. She turned her emotionless eyes towards the male doctor and did something unusual. She smiled. As she did, the female doctor screamed and let go out of shock. In the woman's mouth, there were not human teeth, but long, sharp spikes. Too long for her mouth to close fully without causing any damage. The male doctor stared back at her for a moment before asking, What in the hell are you?" She cracked her neck down to her shoulder to observe him, still smiling. There was a long pause. The security had been alerted and could be heard coming down the hallway. As he heard them approach, she darted forward, sinking her teeth into the front of his throat, ripping out his jugular and letting him fall to the floor, gasping for air as he choked on his own blood. She stood there, leaned over him, her face coming dangerously close to his as life faded from his eyes. She leaned closer and whispered in his ear, "I am God." The doctor's eyes filled with fear as he watched her calmly walk away to greet the security men. His last ever sight would be watching her feast on them one by one. The female doctor who survived the incident named her as the Expressionless. There was never a sighting of her ever again in history.
Damn, dude.
That's it. 1972. That's when that story came.
Okay. So break it down. We've got Alice, right?
Let me start. So number one is the bug in the ear thing.
Yes.
Number two is the Alice killings. And number three is the expressionless ghost.
Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and we're going to rule out the expressionless ghost.
Okay, you're just not believing that happened.
I think, so for 1972, I think that's way too well detailed of a story.
Okay.
To have been, anything but. You know what I mean?
I hear you. But just keep in mind that this is just a retelling of that story. There could be some
That's
truth
fair.
to it.
That's fair.
But yes, good point.
Fair. I can say that's fair.
So you're ruling that out.
I'm going to rule out that one. Mostly because I've already won this game. And
that's a good point.
I'm trying to double win it.
Okay. I was going to say, this would be your time to take a chance, technically, but yes.
So if we go... I know, for a second I was like, you know what, I do want to just go all in on that one, but I was like, no, fuck it, rule it out first.
Okay. All right, so you got bugs, and then you got Alice killings.
If we do the bugs, if you don't know already, you be eating spiders in your lifetime. Like, you have your mouth open at night, and spiders go down your throat. Like, that's a thing that happens to you. And
hey, those things don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and more often than you'd like. So that's unfortunate for all of us. But I guess you didn't necessarily tell me what the time frame was of that happening. But if he was in the hospital and then like still in the hospital, I don't necessarily think that the bugs could have worked. Like, I don't necessarily believe that it would have happened that fast.
Oh, okay. Well, let me explain really fast, like, what... So there's no time frame. This is just, like, a overall, thing that happens throughout time. You know what I mean? Like, there's not, like, a specific era of time when this has happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I guess that was just one telling also. And then
I only give you one instance. But yes, and then the Alice killings.
And we've got Alice. So... I mean, this one makes the most sense, and just like the sense of like most, like we only time that like serial killers or people like have patterns is generally like in movies, or not patterns,
Yeah.
but
Like the weird,
yeah.
like, riddly thing.
Yeah, like that only happens in movies. Most of it's random all the time.
Yeah.
So that makes me want to go with that one.
Okay. So you blatantly just going Alice killing.
I'm gonna go ahead and rule out the bugs. I'm gonna go with the Alice killing.
All right. Well, if that is your final answer, then I will say that you are correct. We'll go with correct. I thought the bugs would get you. I did. I thought that you'd be like, that's obviously a thing that could happen. Because it is. It is a thing that could happen.
Yeah, it could definitely happen. Yeah.
It's not like what you think, though. So, like, there's been like videos and like weird things where like a bug will go into a person's ear, right? And then they'll just be stuck in there and then they have to get it out, right?
Yeah.
However, it says it is patently impossible for insects and or other arthropods to enter one's ear and chew through the other, like through the side of it. A little logic should tell us so. This is a few incidents as well. I was going to read this incident as well, but I didn't. But it says, a little boy died because surgeons found ants in his brain. Apparently, this boy fell asleep with some sweets in his mouth, or with some sweet stuff beside him. Ants soon got to him, and some ants were in fact crawling into his ear, which somehow managed to get to his brain. When he woke up, he didn't realize that he had ants in his head. After that, he constantly complained about itchiness around the face. His mother brought him to a doctor, but the doctor could not figure out what was going wrong with him. He took an x-ray of the boy, and to his horror, he found a group of live ants in his skull. Since ants are still alive, the doctor could not operate on him because the ants were constantly moving around. The boy finally died, so please be careful when leaving food near your bed or when eating in your bed. This might attract ants.
Yeah, dude.
And most importantly,
leave a can of soda open at night, bro, in the summertime?
right.
Game
Never
over.
Right. Most importantly, never you or your child eat sweets before going to bed. So do you see what this is?
Yeah, it's just another PSA.
It's another PSA. They're literally just being like, hey kids, don't have candy in your bed, like don't eat shit at night because then ants will enter your skull and live there and fucking thrash in your brain meat until you're a pile of mush.
Did your parents ever tell you that if you like accidentally swallowed watermelon seeds, you'd become a watermelon?
I don't know if my parents told me that, but I definitely heard that when I was younger. And I was like, no.
My dad told me that one time, and I like watermelon. I loved it as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to fuck with watermelon, because what if I accidentally eat one of those seeds? So I was like, this made me eat less fruit. Like, thanks, Dad.
Makes you unhealthy. You're like, what doesn't have watermelon seeds in it? Snickers. I'm going to eat Snickers now.
Yeah. I can eat peanuts and caramel.
Yeah. Nougat. And I was going to roast your ass if you were to choose can the bug crawl on your ear, and if you were like, yeah, that one, obviously, I would have bullied you because I was like, that was a PSA, like little Mikey, you fuck, and now look how stupid you look, but you didn't pick it. So I will also say that the myth about spiders entering your mouth is not true. It is possible, but it's very unlikely, and definitely more unlikely as you think, because spiders are intelligent, and when you breathe, you're emitting like I am a giant being. Like they can sense the breath, the vibrations, all that stuff, and they steer clear of the source of that, which is your mouth. So
yeah,
fun fact.
Yeah, but
it's possible.
But I'm saying motherfuckers be eating spiders though. It happens. That shit
it does happen.
happens.
It does happen for sure.
Do I eat spiders? Yes, but that's on my own free will.
Yes, your own free will. It's beside the point. All that good stuff.
You hear that, you big ass Australian bugs, bro? I'm coming for you.
He's like, wait. The one that got chopped in half by the Tron DVD copy of whatever the fuck you said.
Eight-legged freaks.
The eight-legged freaks. And the Alice the Alice killings is a bit. I gave you an altered part of the true story. The truth is that there was a serial killer who identified his murders with playing cards, but he operated in Spain, not Japan. And this killer was caught in 2003 and sentenced to 142 years in prison. So there was a thing in Spain. He had playing cards that he put on people. I don't even know if it said Alice, but I needed to juice it up a little bit so that way you would think it's more fake.
Yeah, but I like it. I hear
made the most sense.
I'm dissecting, bro. I'm going.
You break it down too much. You use too much critical thinking, and you don't just go on a whim like I do. And have fun with it.
I didn't want it to be a vampire so bad.
I'm really glad I explained my thought process on that though before I actually chose. Because if I literally was like, yeah, it's Yahweh or whatever the fuck, Yahweh is the name of
if
Jesus.
you were just like, it's
but-
obviously the Yahoo, you fucking fools.
Yeah, you would have like roasted my ass so bad, but I went, yeah, you guys know, the goons know. But yeah, that's, you know what, that'll put a wrap to it. Craig has now wiped the fucking floor with me, and I have now 0-2.
It's game.
So,
I call it game,
game.
bro.
Game, set, and match. So, Craig, at your leisure, whenever we have a theme and you'll have to announce it on the podcast, you can tell me to choose a story and I will have to fully cover that story. So,
yeah, I'll probably do it sooner than later because I will forget.
that's what I'm hoping for.
So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, it's because I forgot. And someone will just have to tweet at me and remind me.
Exactly. Once again, getting the people involved. I wanted to say a few honorable mentions that I didn't get to mention. And I want you to tell... Oh, excuse me. I want you to tell me just like really quick fire round. There's no points. Just to tell me if these are real or fake, okay?
Okay. Real.
Let's see. Okay. Well, somehow you don't even have to hear the story and you're still right. Excellent. This is a story where it says, a young lady is alone in her apartment. She goes to bed with her dog on the floor beside her. In the middle of the night, she is woken up by a strange sound. It's the sound of her faucet dripping constantly. Drip, drip, drip. But the sound of the, like, you know when like a faucet drips, it like tinks on something?
Yeah.
This drip tinked on something else every other time. It was like,
floor.
no, it was,
it was
a faucet. No, it was a faucet in the kitchen or something. Maybe it was the bathroom. I don't know. But the sound of the dink changed too much, and so she was alarmed. She was alarmed, but she reaches down to her doggy, and the dog licks her hand, and she's reassured, and she just goes back to bed. In the morning, she finds the dog hung in the shower, where the dog is slashed open, and then there was a note inside the dog's dead corpse that said, "Humans can lick too."
Fake as fuck.
Actually, you're right. This is the one that was tied in with the other story, obviously. Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights? And this was a just an obvious story. I'm trying to. There was a thing that said it was like in a book. It's something like Mr. Poinier. Like there was like a book named Mr. Poinier that has that same fate happen to him or something. I can't find it, but yeah, fake story. There is one other one I wanted to talk about. This is, let me just try to lay it this way. A Toronto lawyer demonstrating the safety of window panes in a skyscraper plunged through the window to his death.
Oh, and, yeah, I've seen this one, yeah.
Like when you were researching or just sometime?
When I was researching, yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, let me just quick explain just for the goons out there. Police said a lawyer demonstrating the safety of windows in a downtown Toronto skyscraper crashed through a pane with his shoulder and plunged 24 floors to his death. A police spokesman said Gary Hoy fell into the courtyard of the Toronto Dominion Bank Tower early Friday evening as he was explaining the strength of the building's windows to visiting law students. Hoy previously had conducted demonstrations of the window strength according to police reports. Peter Lawyers, managing partner of the firm Holden Day Wilson, told Toronto Sun newspaper that Hoy was, quote, one of the best and brightest, end quote, members of the 200-man association. So this man, Gary Hoy, would literally be like, you want to see how fucking strong these windows are? You want me to fucking show you real quick? And he just fucking barrel charges it. And he hits the window and he'd be like, see? Look how strong that shit is, huh? And then one time he did it, he bursted through the fucking window and fell.
Dude, how does that even come up? Like, because this is this is a true story, correct?
This is a true story, yeah.
Yeah. So how does that even fucking come up? Like, other than like maybe he tripped one time and like stumbled really hard and didn't fall through the window, and he was like, "Damn, that's a good window."
Whoa.
And then every time someone was like, "Oh, I'd hate to fall out of here" or something, he's like, "Well, check it out, motherfucker. You can't. It's impossible."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No one really fucking knows. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense to me either. Because it's like, the weird thing is that's true. I'm glad I didn't actually put that in the thing then.
Dude, I would have crushed it.
No, you would have slapped me right
Home run,
silly.
dude.
Yeah, I don't know how that comes to be.
No, it literally makes no fucking sense in the, like,
was
not
it just
even
like,
a little bit.
Like, you're just, like, walking, and then you see the window, and, like, Mr. Gary was like, hey, you just want to, like, place bets on how fucking strong this glass is? Watch. And And he just jumps out.
Yeah. maybe he was there when the windows were installed, and installers or I don't know what they'd be called. The window people were like, oh yeah, nothing's breaking through this, and he's like, dude, what if I ran it at full speed? Would it break? And they were like, not a chance, buddy. And they probably bet money on it because he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he fucking ran through it, and then he had to pay those people a bunch of money. And he's like, damn, that's sick. And he probably made that bet 9 times out of 10.
That's probably true. And he kept winning. Yeah, this is money making.
And when you lose, bro, you lose. Yeah. The last thing I want to say or bring up, it fucking makes my head hurt so bad. Just think about.
Okay.
Have you seen the Bitcoin guy?
No.
So this guy has $200 million worth of Bitcoin.
That's a lot.
Which is a shit ton of money, right? That's a bunch of money. Like that's almost $250 million. Like that's insane.
Yes.
He forgot his password or something to that effect, or it was like he had lost the keychain to it. So basically, he guessed it wrong 8 times.
Oh no!
Fun fact: if you guess your Bitcoin, wherever you get your Bitcoin thing, your access to it, if you guess that wrong 10 times, you're locked out of it forever, and you cannot get that back.
Yes.
So he has 2 more tries, and basically he's vetting world-renowned hackers to hack into his Bitcoin account to get this money, because that is
they would rob the shit out of him.
Dude, I mean he'd probably be okay with it. You take half, bro, for all I care.
Yeah.
Have half of that shit.
Something.
You earned it. But dude, I know I don't want to sound insensitive, but that guy might if he doesn't get that Bitcoin, he might kill himself.
Honestly, if he doesn't, just let's put him on watch, okay? We're not being insensitive here. Just let's be reasonable. Put that man on watch.
Because I don't know if he's married. I didn't read that much into him. I've just heard about it on multiple podcasts this week, and it's just Jesus. If that happened to me, I would never be able to think about anything else ever again.
I wouldn't either. Yeah, because anytime I'd buy something, I'd be like, this could have been free.
Yeah, I basically didn't have to pay for this. I haven't had I've been working for the last 30 years. I shouldn't have to do this.
Yep.
I should have just sold my Bitcoin last year.
Yeah, should have sold my dick coin.
So that's R.I.P. to that guy.
Yeah, it's already over for that guy. And what I was trying to say is, if he's like, here's all my information I possibly could have, hacker, go in there, what's to stop that hacker from being like, well, this is all my Bitcoin now. So
yeah,
thanks.
Honestly, I'd be okay with it. I'd be like, you earned it, bro.
Yeah, that's true. This is at least someone can at least I know that it didn't just go to waste, someone's gonna profit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Does somebody get to, does it get redistributed? Does it just go back to Bitcoin? I don't know how Bitcoin works personally. I don't know anything. So do people have the option to go and buy that stock again since it's just no longer claimed? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't.
If you're a day trader and are interested in Bitcoin, get a job.
Yeah, go do something productive, purchase Pokemon cards and then sell those.
Dude, have you heard of these things called Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies!
Yeah,
go
dude.
sell them.
I heard they're going to be worth billions.
But, well, thanks, Craig, for playing that one with me. I'm glad that I got my asshole fucking just widened, opened.
You're gaping right now.
I'm gaping. You can hear a whistle when breeze hits it.
Yeah.
So thanks for that. The lovely Goonies, will hear the results of what Craig tells me later. We have to discuss it for sure, I'm thinking. And at home, thank you for playing. I hope you guys got more than I did, because I didn't get many correct. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I hope you got the vampire one right.
Yeah, you guys will always have that on me, so
yeah.
That's okay. You just aren't fun like me. I get it. Yahoo.
I'm gonna go watch that Scooby-Doo movie as soon as I find it. Yeah.
I need to go I had it on VHS. I'm gonna find that motherfucker. Watch the Yahoo and the 2 skinny dudes.
And the 2 skinny dudes.
Well, yeah. Anyway, thanks a bunch for audience, just for checking us out. Even if you didn't play along and you just turned us on to masturbate to, I don't care. I hope you had a good time. And I hope that you stay tuned for next episode, which we should be able to get another urban legend in here, hopefully.
Yeah. And if we don't, you're all gonna pay.
You're gonna pay.
It's really ominous about it.
Don't even tell him what the punishment is, just, you will pay.
Yeah. You will pay.
All right, well, I think that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in, Craig. Thanks for being a dick bag.
Much
see
love.
You guys. Much love. We'll see you goons. Goon Squad. See you guys next week.